I'm not happy about it. I haven't actually seen Nesta since that has actually happened, for me and him to really have a conversation to say, all right, what happened?
The fastest man in history has finally spoken. Usain Bolt has broken his silence on one of the most painful chapters of his career, the day he was forced to give back an Olympic gold medal. Not because of anything he did, but because of a teammate's mistake. His words shocked the sports world. And what he revealed says as much about character as it does about speed. Before everyone knew his name, Usain Saint, Leo Bolt grew up in a small town in Jamaica called Sherwood Content. He was tall and skinny, and he loved playing cricket and soccer more than running. His teachers and coaches saw that he was very fast, but at first Bolt didn't really take running seriously. As he got older, his body grew taller and stronger. At 6 feet 5 inches, his long legs helped him take huge strides that no one had seen before. By the time he was 15, he shocked the world when he won the 2002 World Junior Championships in Kingston. He became the youngest runner ever to win that gold medal. He was still learning and not perfect yet, but the world had started to notice his amazing talent. His breakthrough came in 2008 at the Beijing Olympics. He stunned the globe by smashing the 100-meter world record in the final with a time of 9.69 seconds, slowing down to celebrate before crossing the line. Days later, he stormed to a 200-meter world record of 19.30 seconds, breaking Michael Johnson's long-standing mark. And then came the relay gold, the race that would later cause so much controversy. That 4x100-meter relay in Beijing wasn't just another victory. It was domination. Bolt, Nesta Carter, Michael Frater, and Asafa Powell worked in perfect harmony. They didn't just win, they rewrote history with 37.10 seconds, a world record at the time. But almost 10 years later, Bolt was told he had to hand that medal back. Nesta Carter's retested sample came back positive for a banned substance. The ruling from the International Olympic Committee was final. The entire team would be disqualified. For Bolt, it wasn't just the medal. It was the end of his triple-triple, 3 Olympic Games, 3 golds each, a perfect 9-for-9 record. Instead, his official tally dropped to 8 gold medals. In 2025, Bolt finally broke his silence with honesty. "It was disappointing," he said. "Nesta came to me and apologized. But everybody makes mistakes. I've moved on." Those words showed why Bolt is admired far beyond the track. He didn't lash out. He didn't point fingers. He accepted the loss with grace, reminding fans that one setback couldn't erase years of dominance. He added, "I am disappointed based on losing a medal, but it won't take away from what I have done throughout my career." And what a career it was. Even without that 9th gold, Usain Bolt remains the greatest sprinter of all time. He won 8 Olympic gold medals across 3 games: Beijing 2008, London 2012, and Rio 2016, cementing himself as the face of sprinting for an entire generation. On the world stage, he added 11 World Championship golds and 13 medals in total, making him one of the most decorated track athletes in history. His records remain untouched: 9.58 seconds in the 100 meters and 19.19 seconds in the 200 meters, both set in 2009, still stand over a decade later, a testament to just how far ahead of his peers he truly was. But Bolt's greatness wasn't just in the numbers. His showmanship, the lightning bolt pose, the wide smile, and the playful attitude turned sprinting into more than a race. He made it an event that captured global attention. In London, 2012, he silenced any doubters by defending his 100-meter and 200-meter titles, proving Beijing was no fluke. 4 years later in Rio, at the age of 30, he did the unthinkable, becoming the first man to win the 100 meters at 3 straight Olympics. For Bolt, the relay medal wasn't just about numbers. It represented Jamaica's dominance, teamwork, and history. The 2008 race was a masterpiece, and taking it away erased part of that story. Fans remember watching that race, the baton exchanges that looked effortless, the roar of the crowd as Bolt anchored the finish. That memory will never fade, but the official record books now carry a mark that feels unfair. Yet, Bolt's response to it has made his story even stronger. Instead of letting bitterness define him, he turned the moment into a lesson about resilience. Since retiring in 2017, Bolt has shifted focus. He runs the Usain Bolt Foundation, which provides support for young athletes and education programs. He invests in businesses, including ventures in restaurants, music, and even esports. In 2025, he serves as an ambassador for Expo 2027 in Serbia, a role that shows how his influence now stretches beyond athletics. He's no longer just a sprinter, he's a global figure of inspiration. Despite retiring, Bolt remains the standard. Noah Lyles, the American sprinter chasing Bolt's legacy, recently said he wants to be the next Bolt. Letsile Tebogo, the young star from Botswana, openly calls Bolt his idol. Even Ariane Knighton, the teenage sensation from the US, studies Bolt's races for lessons. Bolt's impact wasn't just about times on a clock, it was about confidence, showmanship, and the ability to rise on the biggest stage. When the lights were brightest, Bolt always delivered. For nearly a decade, Bolt said little about losing the medal. That silence wasn't weakness. It showed maturity. He knew that arguing wouldn't change the outcome. Instead, he focused on his foundation, on business, on giving back. When he finally spoke, his words landed like thunder. He reminded the world that greatness isn't about never losing, it's about how you handle loss. The Olympics have seen many doping scandals. Marion Jones lost her medals after admitting to drug use. Ben Johnson was stripped of his 1988 gold within days of winning it. But Bolt's case was different. He didn't cheat. He didn't test positive. He was punished for someone else's mistake. That's what made the loss so shocking and frustrating. It also sparked debate. Should clean athletes lose medals because of a teammate's wrongdoing? Or is that the only way to keep the sport fair? Yes, Usain Bolt lost an Olympic gold medal, but he never lost what mattered most. His speed, his charisma, his records, and his influence remain untouched. Bolt's legacy towers over the sport. He is still the man who changed sprinting forever, still the man who made the world stop and watch, and still the man who carries himself with the calm of a true champion. The question remains, should innocent athletes be punished for a teammate's doping, or should Olympic rules change? One thing is clear. Bolt's words prove why he will always be remembered not just as the fastest man alive, but as one of the greatest role models in sports history.
You have to give it all. You have to just keep on running. Send a message to the world that I try.
A champion doesn't always run for medals, sometimes she runs for meaning. Faith Kipyegon reminded us of that, and what she said might just redefine how we see women in sport. In the world of track and field, words from someone with her record carry weight. Kipyegon isn't just breaking records, she's rewriting what it means to be a female athlete. Already a multiple Olympic and world champion, she's more than a runner. She's a beacon. Her credentials speak volumes. World record holder in the 1,500 meters and mile, 3 Olympic golds, Rio 2016, Tokyo 2020, Paris 2024, and multiple world titles in 1,500 meters and even 5,000 meters. At 31, she isn't slowing down. She's sharpening her legacy. Her nickname, Smiling Destroyer, captures it perfectly. Relentless speed met with a warm, composed presence that inspires, not intimidates. Come September 13th, as the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo begin, she'll chase something monumental, defending both her 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters titles. It's been done once, Budapest 2023, but no one has done it twice. That would make her the first woman ever to double defend those titles at back-to-back Worlds. In a sport built on seconds and splits, she's building legacies. Her ambition isn't just about the stopwatch, it's also about what she leaves behind. She said recently, "My message to young girls is to dream and make their dreams valid, urging them not to limit themselves." That echoes beyond podiums and taps into identity and empowerment. When she speaks of mindset, patience, preparation, not just medals, she's speaking to engineers, dreamers, mothers, daughters. Earlier this year, Kipyegon attempted something that had never been done, a sub-4-minute mile by a woman. At Nike's hyped Breaking 4 event in Paris on June 26th, she ran 4 minutes 6.42 seconds, her fastest ever by far, though short of the fabled barrier. Still, she bettered her previous world best of 4 minutes 7.64 seconds by over a second, a leap forward. That race may not count for records thanks to elite pacers and prototype gear, but it's what it said that matters. Kipyegon announced, "It's only a matter of time. If it's not me, it'll be somebody else. We are not limited." Her words stand as a challenge to herself, to sport, to the world watching. This is just the beginning. Nike didn't just sponsor a race, they helped orchestrate a moment. From a 3D printed flyweb sports bra to cutting-edge spikes, her gear was designed to push the envelope on performance and equity. It's a signal that brands and sports science are finally taking women seriously, not as an afterthought, but as drivers of innovation. Yet Kipyegon's real story is in her comeback. After giving birth to her daughter Alan in 2018, many thought she'd step back. Instead, she surged forward, world silver in 2019, Olympic gold in 2021, record after record in 2023, and beyond. She proved motherhood isn't an obstacle, it's another layer of power. Her vulnerability is part of her strength. She's open about doubts, pressures, injuries. She says she's had to train her mind as hard as her body. That honesty makes her human, and her messaging even more potent. Everywhere she goes, airports, stadiums, press conferences, girls speak up. They tell her she inspired them. She listens, and that, above all, is why her words matter. For girls in her rural Kenyan village, she's proof a barefoot kid can become a global champion. For girls everywhere, she's proof they deserve to dream big, with definition. But what sets her apart even more is how she stays grounded. Despite the global fame, Kipyegon still trains in Kenya, often returning to the same high-altitude dirt tracks where her journey began. Her coach, Patrick Song, also known for training Eliud Kipchoge, has said that her greatest asset isn't speed, it's her humility. Kipyegon also advocates for better support systems for female athletes. She's spoken about the need for maternity policies in sports federations and fair contracts that don't penalize women for starting families. These aren't just political points, they come from experience. When she returned to competition post-pregnancy, she was navigating uncertainty. There was no clear roadmap. That's changing now, partly because of her. Her success has prompted conversations within world athletics and national committees about more inclusive athlete welfare policies. She's not just part of the sport, she's reshaping it from the inside out. Her peers respect her fiercely. After Kipyegon's reinstatement at the Paris 2024 Olympics, Hassan said, "She's a phenomenal athlete, and I have a lot of respect for her. That's admiration for someone raising the bar, elevating the sport. And yet she wins with grace." Her smile says, "You can be dominant without being brutal." That's a lesson for young athletes. Strength doesn't require aggression. Even off-track, Kipyegon is quietly shifting paradigms. She's become an informal ambassador for Kenyan athletics and has used her platform to highlight issues like girls' education, access to sports programs, and gender equality. She understands that visibility is power, and she's choosing to use it. Beyond athletics, her influence has begun spilling into media and policy discussions. Interviews with Kipyegon are no longer just about lap times. They're about equity, investment, and representation. She's been featured in international publications, not just as a sports figure, but as a symbol of modern womanhood. Each appearance amplifies her message. She's also taken on a quiet mentorship role. Rising stars like Nelly Chepchirchir have publicly credited Kipyegon for her guidance and encouragement behind the scenes. Faith's willingness to uplift others, even those who may one day become rivals, speaks volumes about the kind of leader she is. In many ways, Kipyegon is creating a ripple effect. Girls are joining running clubs across Kenya in record numbers. Athletic camps are seeing more female participants than ever before. Coaches are rethinking how they approach training young women, thanks to her influence. She's also begun discussions with local Kenyan organizations to expand access to training gear and running shoes for girls in underfunded schools. By sponsoring grassroots events and showing up personally, she's removing barriers that once seemed immovable. And it's not just in Kenya. Across Africa, young female athletes are citing her as their role model. Her name is coming up in interviews with sprinters in Nigeria, distance runners in Ethiopia, and teenage athletes from Rwanda to South Africa. She's become the blueprint. As Tokyo approaches, all eyes are on her. Can she repeat her Budapest double? If she does, she becomes an icon. But even now, her words about patience, humility, dreaming are shaping conversations. Her statement is already a victory. What do you think? Will Faith's message ignite more girls to chase athletics or any dream with courage? Drop your thoughts. If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more powerful tales from the track. This 21-year-old runner from Africa just beat some of the fastest people on Earth. But his story isn't just about winning races. It's about coming back from the worst thing that could happen to him. In Zurich, Switzerland, something incredible just happened. The Diamond League finals had everyone expecting Noah Lyles to cruise to his 6th trophy. The American sprinter was bouncing around the track, feeding off the crowd's energy like he always does. But in lane 7, a quiet young man from Botswana was getting ready to turn everything upside down. Letsile Tebogo doesn't talk much before races. While Lyles was showboating, Tebogo stood ice cold at the starting line. The gun fired, and Tebogo shot out of the blocks like lightning. He was ahead going into the home stretch, looking unstoppable. But then Lyles did what Lyles does best. He found another gear in the final meters. The crowd went wild as Lyles powered past Tebogo right at the finish line. 19.74 seconds for Lyles, 19.76 for Tebogo. Just 0.02 of a second separated them. After crossing the line, Lyles celebrated his record-breaking 6th Diamond League title, shouting about how he had 6 in a row, the most in track. But here's what makes this story so powerful. Just months ago, Tebogo almost quit running forever. His name is Letsile Tebogo, and he's from a small village called Kanye in Botswana. With only 47,000 people, it's the kind of place where Olympic dreams seem impossible. Tebogo didn't even start taking track seriously until he was 16. Most American kids start running competitively when they're 5 or 6 years old. Before track, Tebogo wanted to play professional soccer, but he kept getting benched and that frustrated him. His coach noticed he was naturally fast and suggested he try sprinting instead. Even then, Tebogo didn't have proper running shoes. He trained barefoot until he broke his country's 100-meter record. The person who believed in him most was his mother, Sarah Tiwa. She worked as a secretary and used all her savings to support his dream. Tebogo often says their relationship was more like brother and sister than mother and son. She never missed his big races, sometimes even showing up unannounced to surprise him. In 2021, when Tebogo was just 18, he won his first major title at the World Under-20 Championships. His time of 10.11 seconds in the 100 meters was the second fastest ever by a teenager, behind only Usain Bolt. Suddenly, the track world was paying attention to this quiet kid from Africa. By 2023, Tebogo made history again. He became the first African man to win medals at the Senior World Championships, taking silver in the 100 meters and bronze in the 200 meters. His mother was in the stands in Budapest, crying tears of joy. After the race, Tebogo said, "My mom, she's just all smiles. The tears of joy were rolling down her cheeks. I was the happiest human being ever. Everything was going perfectly." Tebogo started 2024 by setting a world record in the 300 meters. He was getting faster and faster, building momentum for the Paris Olympics. Then, tragedy struck. In May 2024, Tebogo was competing in Los Angeles when he got a phone call that changed everything. His mother had died suddenly at just 44 years old after a brief illness. His coach, Kipyegon Mosimanyane, had to deliver the devastating news. After the race, a few hours, we were having dinner, Mosimanyane recalled, and a call came in and they told us about it, and I had to tell him. We went and sat in his room. We just spent time together. We tried to recollect, but we couldn't. It was bad. Tebogo was completely broken. He thought about quitting track and field forever. "First of all, I felt like it's over for me. It's over for athletics," he admitted later. "I remember I stayed more than 3 weeks doing nothing, just home sleeping. I didn't have the motivation to even start training. The Olympics were just months away, but Tebogo couldn't bring himself to run. His teammates eventually came to his house and convinced him to just watch them practice. He sat in the stands wondering if his mother would want him to give up. I just stayed on the stands and watched, and I thought to myself, would she be happy if I left the sport? That question changed everything." Slowly, Tebogo started training again, but now he had a new motivation. He said, "The main goal for me is running in the name of my mom. That's where the dedication comes in.